Today in the physics lab, we're going to look at diffraction. So we've talked about in class where you send a beam of like a light or electrons through two slits, they diffract and then they interfere with each other and form a pattern. What we're going to do in the lab is we're actually going to do a few experiments to look at the changes we can make and see how that changes the interference pattern. So it says right here that we're going to focus on the wavelength L and D. So remember, wavelength is the wavelength of the light we're going to be sending through here. L will be the distance from our two slits to our screen. And D will be the distance between the two slits. So each run will be changing a few different things, only one thing at a time. And we're going to see how that changes our interference pattern on the screen. Basically, what we're trying to figure out is the distance y here between our central maximum and say the next peak, like M1 versus M2 and so on and so forth. So, this takes us through, all the steps here. But I want to point out this equation, and this should have been pointed out in class, that this is the equation that you're going to have to derive from the two equations on the equation sheet that the College Board gives you. And this is what we're going to figure out here. We're going to manipulate some of these things and see how it changes y.